Hi guys, and welcome to Angling For You Back to Basics. Apologies, we've not been uploading. We've been focusing on the main channel and getting back to full health. We're having a double operation, so I do apologise for that. But today we're back on the bank and we're filming a feature film. So I thought I would break off and show you a little bit about my Inline Maggot feeder rig. Something I've done in the past, but I've not put it on this channel, and I think you'd find it really interesting. I'm going to show you up in close how to tie that and what it looks like up in close and a little bit about it. So I'll flip up to a closer angle so it's just on my hands and you can watch me put it together, and we'll see how we go. Right guys, so you're going to need a few little bits and bobs to tie this rig. First, starting with a feeder. It's a little Camazan feeder, and what we've done is I've put a little Preston stem on there. I'll just take the lid off. Now what we've done is burnt a hole through the middle of that, so that allows the little stem to slide through, and the stem itself I've burnt through the bottom of the feeder itself, and all I did is heat up a baiting needle and just melt through and then just keep widening it. You don't want it to, because you need to do that bit by bit, because you need to obviously make sure that that little stem goes through firm and that the bevel sits against it so it doesn't pull the whole way through. And then you could do a longer stem if you wanted, and I'm assuming this would work with a Guru stem also, or a Matrix stem, but I like the Prestons, and obviously that'll slide on and off like so. So we'll leave that there for a second. The other one is, because we've got this stem, we need a quick change bead. You don't need, but it works better with a quick change bead. That's what the packet looks like. Preston quick change beads, inline ones. It just means that having that little bead means that we can slide it into the bottom of the tube nice and easy when we are putting it together, which makes it just a neater rig. So we'll just put that there and rest that gently on there. The next thing is hooks. Now you could tie your own hooks of course, but in the winter I tend to bring my hooks already pre-done. I do like these little maglock things that we've got here, and they've got various different sizes. So today, let's have a look, we'll be going an 011 with an 18, and that's what we'll start off. If there's some carp turn up, we'll go a bit stronger. Just put that there, and they obviously come off magnetised, and they can stick in, and there's a load of hooks on there. So these are 011 to 18's GPM-B, and that is what hooks we'll be putting on. Then of course you need a pair of scissors to finish it all off. But what we'll do first is you must have the stem through this style of feeder. That obviously it's a homemade one, because there's no inline bit where you can pull the line through like you would do on any other feeder in that kind of Preston range. So the first thing we need to do is cut a flat edge. And what I mean by that is you're cutting a good starting point on your line. It's fresh, it's not frayed, and it's easy to work with. Now we're going to push that through, minus my eyesight, through the sleeve first. Need to make sure that that's on first. Let's get that in first, so the sleeve is on. We can leave that up the line along with the feeder. This is the easy part, apart from my eyesight. We'll slide that line all the way through there, and now the feeder is on the line, so we can push that little case over the feeders, slides on the line once we don't trap the line in it. There we go. Feeder will slide up the line, and we can have that out of the way and have a bit of line to work with. So if you've never tied the feeder beads, I know this is going to be quite difficult because of the smallness of it, but they effectively come in two bits. You have to get your teeth on the first bit to open it up, but it comes in two pieces. There's a sleeve part, like so, and that you just need to thread onto the line and out of the way. It's going to go onto the feeder. And the next part, and it's going to be difficult to see, is a tiny little part where it's a little bit like the end of a storm throw connector, which is what you'd have on your pole. It's got a little hook hook part on it is quite difficult to see, to be honest. And it's got a little hole behind it. Now we're going to thread the line through the hole so it's on the line. So we've got it sliding on the line. And all I do is give myself enough space, everyone's going to have their own way, enough space to put it in a loop so it's sat in the bottom of a loop there, and then I just tie an overhand knot. So you create a little loop and push it back through, so that's like an overhand knot, and you're pulling it as tight as you can till it goes near but not fully tightened, and then you've got a little tag end which is your main, if you can see it, is pick it up. Yeah, dear eyesight. So it's a little tag end like so, and then you just pull that tight, and that little knot will sit against it, and all you do is repeat that process again. So you get that line, go overhand knot and thread it through there, bring it down to it's nearly there, and use your tag end and your main line to pull that knot down tight. So that now has a tight knot that's not going to come off. It's a tight knot, it's not going to come off, and you need to just snip it. So shall we, no line on it, and don't snip it too tight, but as close as you can get it, and then that's on the line now. So all we need to do obviously would be to slide down the bead, and then that will slide inside like so, and that'll fit lovely and neat in the end of the feeder. So you can see there's the inline feeder, and inline just means that if a fish were to take it and it breaks off, they're not going to be tethered to a feeder, which is pretty much standard wherever you go nowadays. Now you can go with various different hook lengths. They're pretty savage here, to be honest, so a small hook link will be absolutely fine. We're in March time, so we'll be all right, I think. It's some deeper, bigger waters you might need like up to a 15-inch or bigger, but the idea of the inline is that it's right next to it. So you're using your teeth just to slide out that little sleeve again, and you need to put your loop of your line over, but make sure that it drops right into the recess. That's really important, and hold on to it while you slide that loop on, that sleeve back over, because what you don't want to do is not have it sat in that recess, and when you slide that loop back on, it's not sat in there properly. You can see that the lines there is dangling from it, and the completed rig. I'll pull that tight. I'll pull that nice and tight, and we've got the completed rig now. So the feeder is there, the hook's there, and it's completely and utterly in line, which is the main thing. So hopefully that was a good little bit of information for you. It's a great little rig that I fish with, sometimes even in the summer months when you just want to fish maggots and catch hide and catch a bigger stamp, and just obviously make the hook link a little bit stronger and a little bit bigger hook. But it's a great little feeder sort of setup, and if you're trying to get it tight to a bank, that's where I think it comes in the best. I do like an old-fashioned maggot feeder, especially if you're fishing big waters or sort of deep venues, but if I want everything centralised and I want to be up to a tight island or something like that, this can really come into its own and can be a deadly little rig. So hopefully you found that information helpful. I'll try and get some more tips and hints coming soon. And thank you very much. Until the next one, guys. Thanks for watching. Tight lines.